My name is Ruth Dern. I'm a certified life coach. I help business women make more money without working any harder or longer. And I'm the host of this group. Thank you so much for being a member of this group. And what I do is I go live on Facebook, but I also have it on Zoom. And so you can attend live on Facebook or you can attend on Zoom. The people who are on Zoom are going to get coached on this concept. We're going to identify what is happening in their life that is causing them emotional burnout. And the reason I decided to call it emotional burnout is because it is caused by our feelings. It is caused by what we are thinking and feeling. And so when I was stuck in emotional burnout, it cost me a ton of time, success, money, happiness. It cost me my dreams. And when I understood more about emotional burnout and how it was caused, my mission is to really help everybody not experience emotional burnout. And I want you guys to learn how to avoid emotional burnout, because my ideal client is the hardworking woman with very big dreams. My ideal client is going to go to work to create her dream. She's going to be doing a lot of things. She's going to be taking a lot of action. She's going to be doing a lot of things in her life and her business. She's going to be showing up powerfully in her life and her business. And so if you'd like to join me on Zoom, let me drop the link so you can join me on Zoom. Because if you want to take this into your life and into your business, it's one thing to understand what I'm talking about, and it's a very different thing to actually have it in your life, to actually have it, understand it in your life. Because my client is also going to be my ideal client. The people that I work with are very intelligent. They're very hardworking. They're very knowledgeable. They know books back and forth. They know things intellectually back and forth. But then they're not creating the results that they want, and they're creating things like burnout. They're creating things where they're really struggling in their life and their business. And so I help my clients identify and reduce this emotional burnout. So emotional burnout, what this does when we're in emotional burnout, the last thing we want to do is work on our businesses. The last thing we want to do is really show up for our dreams. The last thing we want to do is take more action, because we're saying what the actions that we're taking are not getting the result that we want. We're frustrated, we're overwhelmed, we're tired because of how we are approaching it. And what is happening is, like, we will see two women. My client, very intellectual, very smart, very hardworking, very knowledgeable, without the result that they want, next to somebody who is not as smart, not as intelligent, not as hardworking, not as determined, not as driven as my client, but that person will have the result. And it's because my client, or the person who will come to me, is in emotional burnout, and the other person has a few systems in place to prevent the emotional burnout. It's not because one person is better than the other, or the other person's more better than the other. It's because of the approach each one's using. So I like to give the analogy of a client who will, both people are living in Albuquerque to go to California. One person takes the freeway, takes the express, gets into their car, goes 75 miles an hour down the road. They will get to California a lot faster, because my client will take the scenic route, and the scenic route will involve things like emotional burnout. The scenic route will involve a lot of struggles and obstacles. The scenic route will involve a lot of stress and a lot of pressure and a lot of negative feelings that are created. So yes, driving to California is uncomfortable, but driving to California the way that my clients will do it makes it more uncomfortable, more harder, makes it more cumbersome. And so what I help my clients do is identify how to really overcome emotional burnout. And so what creates emotional burnout? Emotional burnout is created by our feelings of stressed, pressure, insufficient, hurried, impatient, scarcity. Emotional burnout is created by the feelings that we have. And when we are in emotional burnout, it looks like where my clients feel emotionally helpless. They're emotionally tired, like they're emotionally, which then becomes physically tired, because what happens in our brain manifests in our bodies. So they're physically and emotionally tired. Sometimes they have health issue. And I can tell when a client is struggling with this, they will get sick very easily. They will experience something happening in their life and they get sick. They'll be sick. The immune system is compromised. And so they're sick a lot often because there's a mind and body connection. They're emotionally drained. They might not be sleeping well. They don't have a lot of energy. Their motivation is not there. They have brain fog. They have anxiety. They have depression. Which snowballs into they're not taking care of themselves because they're tired. They're physically and mentally tired. And they're the last thing they want to do is income producing activity. The last thing they want to do is work on their business. The last thing they want to do is take care of self-care. The last thing they want to do is work on their dreams, because they're so involved in taking care of themselves physically that they don't have time, energy, and even motivation to work on taking care of themselves. And so they're feeling a lot of stress. They're feeling a lot of pressure. They're feeling a lot of exhaustion. They're feeling a lot of insufficiencies, a lot of scarcity. And so this is normally when my clients will hire me. And unfortunately, I want you guys, if that is your pattern, I want you to hire me way before that. Because what we do when we're working together is we identify the cause of emotional burnout, the root cause of emotional burnout. And I have identified 5 things that creates emotional burnout. 5 things that create the stress, 5 things that create the pressure, 5 things that create this scarcity in our life. And the first one is how we talk to ourselves. And so I will hear my clients who are experiencing burnout is they'll use words like, I have to go for my dreams. I have to work that. I have to do that. I have to. And they'll give me a long list of things that they have to do. They will also say, I must do this. I must do that. If I don't do this, then this will happen. So I must do that. They tell themselves, I should be doing, I should do, I should. They're shoulding all over themselves. They're going, if I don't, then that, then. So what they're doing is, if I don't build my business, then my family will starve and live under a bridge, homeless. So they go to the worst case scenario. The way that they are telling themselves a story is, if I don't, then this will happen. If I don't work my business, my family will starve. Or if I must work my business, or something catastrophic will happen. They are really, the words that they're using to themselves just feel exhausting. And so let me give you an example. If I think I have to build a coaching business, I have to help my clients, I feel pressure, I feel stressed, but it's the energy that I'm using to take the action. I might be working with my client, I might be helping people out, but I'm feeling that negative energy. It's like a heavy jacket on my, like a heavy blanket, weighted down blanket, like wet blanket that I've just plopped on top of myself by telling myself I have to do something. Or like I tell myself, I have to do it because there where I have my successful business, there where I have my clients, or there where I'm making this such an amount of money will be better than it is here. And so it feels so heavy. It feels like we put off our happiness for a later date. And that really is exhausting, because once we think that way, we feel really heavy. The other way is what we make things mean. So I'll hear a client saying, my client said no. And then they make it mean because they don't want to work with me. I'm not good enough. I don't have what they need. I'm not good enough. X, Y, and Z. I'm not good enough consultant. I'm not good enough at a coach, you name it. We make things outside of us mean something negative about us. We make other people's actions or inactions mean something negative about us. So think about it. If I think, well, Susie said no, that means I'm not good enough. That feels so insufficient, feels so negative, feels so heavy. The other thing that they do is what they make other things mean about them as an individual. Like one is about their skills and one is about them as an individual. So if it's about the skill, is I'm not good enough as a coach, I'm not good enough as a consultant, I'm not good enough as a business person. But the other one is I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, I'm not lovable, I'm not likable. Something negative about us, somebody else's actions means something about us. And the other thing that they do is they're using things, outside things like the results or outside things like their goal to mean something about them. So for example, I'm a better person if I get my goal. But we know that's not true. I want you to, if only a better person gets their goal, then they wouldn't be crappy people. Like I was thinking about, the only person that came to mind is like the Epstein people and the or Bill Cosby is the only other person that came to mind. He was very successful. Epstein and Bill Cosby are millionaires. If we have to be a better person to be millionaires and we are making things negative about us, then make that make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And so when we make it mean that I'm not good enough, we're mixing apples and oranges. We're using an orange to say whether an apple tastes better, which is not the way it works, which then that makes it, when we're making it mean something about us, we're not feeling lovable. We're not feeling likable. We're not feeling enough. We're not feeling worthy. We're not feeling valuable. All emotions we want to feel. And that is the reason we're going for a goal in the first place. Any reason we're going for a goal is because of how we think and we'll think and feel when we have that goal. And so if we think having the goal is going to make me feel valuable, we want to tap into the valuable now to create the goal. If we think that my goal is going to make me feel worthy, we want to tap into the worthiness now. And that's actually the fifth part. Setting a goal because we think a goal is going to make us feel a certain way. That causes a lot of emotional burnout. That causes a lot of pressure. And so I want you to know, no goal is going to make you be a better person. No goal is going to make you feel better. It's like when you are amazing, you are worthy, you are lovable, you are phenomenal, you are enough, worthy, valuable, lovable, likable. You are amazing now, with or without your goal. And so people will always tell me, so but Ruth, why would I go get my goal if I'm feeling worthy now, if I'm feeling valuable now, if I'm feeling enough now? Why would I go for my goal? Because you want to. Think about it. Like when I was given, I'll wrap back around at it. Because you want to have it. And which brings me to the fifth point is like, when we are in emotional burnout, we are not accepting the ups and downs of life. We are not accepting that life is 50-50. We are not accepting the duality of life. Like there is life and then there's death. There is happiness and then there's sadness. They're the same coin. There is success and there's failure. They are pieces and parts of the same goal. So to be successful, you have to have failed. To be rich, you have to have had times when you felt like maybe poor because of some things that are going on. To be abundant, you have to have felt some times of scarcity. They are the same piece of the same coin. They go hand in hand. And so when we're rejecting the 50%, 50-50 of life, when we're rejecting the duality of life, we are rejecting the full human experience. So let's take, for example, let me give you the example. My client, it wants a goal. They want to make money for their family. They want to create an income for their family. And then the very first time they experience negative emotion, or the very first time somebody tells them no, or the very first time somebody said they were going to do something and didn't do that, or for the very first time somebody has an opinion about them, then my clients will hide, avoid their business, because that 50% of what that person said should not be there. It should be amazing all the way around. And so back to the analogy of driving to California, like the drive should not be there. The tedious, the time, the exhaustion should not be there. And so we dismiss the whole fact of it. And so when we are not accepting the 50% of time, so think about it. It's like I'm feeling disappointed. I tried something. I put out a marketing campaign. I didn't get the results I was hoping for. So I'm feeling disappointed. And then I'm telling myself, you should not be feeling disappointment. You must have done something different because you should not be feeling disappointment. And so that then is arguing with reality, because reality is I put my work out in the world. I didn't get the result I was hoping for. I am feeling disappointed. That is life. And so then if I accept the 50% of life, I accept that, then I'm able to dust myself off and get back to doing what I wanted to do. So ways to avoid and or reduce emotional burnout so that you can create more money and success and time so you can create the life of your dreams is, number one, accepting that you, my friend, are amazing. You, my friend, are valuable. You are worthy. You are enough. You are lovable. You are likable. You are amazing. Accept in that first. No goal is going to make you more of that. No goal will make you now go from not good enough to good enough. No goal can do that for you. You come to it believing that you're good enough, you will create your goal faster. You come to it accepting that you are amazing, you will create your goal faster. Because remember, every goal we go for is because of how we think we'll feel by having it. But the key is to feel that way before you go for the goal. The second part is we want to check the way we're talking to ourselves. And we want to really ask ourselves, why do I want that goal? Why am I willing to do the work that is required to have that goal? Why do I want that goal? And so like last week, I shared about the compelling reason. No matter what reason, why do you want it? Be very clear, not thinking that, well, I get there and there, like, it's going to be a different place than here. It's just going to be more of that there, but maybe with a little bit more money, or maybe a little bit more success, maybe a little bit more of the regular stuff, maybe a little bit more of the comfort, but it'll still be 50-50. And so telling yourself, if there is the same as here, why do I want to create it? And see even how why I want to. When I feel I want to, I feel motivated, I feel inspired, I feel driven, I feel resolved, I feel determined, I feel committed, which are very different energies than the stress, the pressure, not good enough. Very different energy. So I can take the exact same action with that different energy and I'll get more of the result that I want. The other thing is not using people's actions or inactions or things around us to mean anything about us. So Susie Q said no. Okay, Susie Q said no. Susie Q didn't say that we are not good enough as human beings. Susie Q didn't say that you're not good enough as a person. Susie Q didn't say that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not lovable, you're not likable, you're not lovable. Susie Q just said no. What? And so being curious, Why did she say no? Maybe I didn't show her the value of the product or the service. Maybe I didn't show her the after of working with the product. Maybe I didn't show her the after picture of when she has no more acne. And that's just an example that came to mind. Maybe I didn't show her, like maybe I didn't show her how amazing and phenomenal the vacation in Hawaii will be. And so we can look at that. When we don't make it anything about us, we can move into more of the curiosity. You, my friend, are not broken. You, my friend, do not need to be fixed. My clients will tell me all the time, but I'm broken because blah, 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 blah. No, you cannot break a human being. You, my friend, are amazing. You don't need to be fixed. And so you don't need a goal to fix you. You don't need a goal to make you worthy enough, lovable, valuable, likable. You are that, and you just bring that out. Like, for example, you're already amazing, 100% lovable. We just bring it out into the world. And so we want to have a goal for the sake of having the goal. We want to have the goal because of who we evolve into when we have the goal. And so we're setting goals from just the desire of setting goals, just the desire of having the results, just the desire of living that life, just the desire of, you know what? My life and my family's life will be a lot more interesting with a little bit more money. Not because I'll be more valuable, more lovable, more enough. It'll just be a different kind of experience. Personally, I've done the rich in Kenya, rich in Africa, poor in Africa, poor in America. Now I'm ready to do, I've done middle class in America. I'm ready to do rich in America. Not because it's better there than it is here. It's just a different experience. And I want to experience that. And so accepting and acknowledging that the human experience is 50-50. Even Elon Musk, even you think of anybody in the world, Oprah Winfrey, she's one of the wealthiest people in the world, and she still experiences 50-50 of life. I remember when she developed Own magazine, she had a really hard time because she was doing something new, something she had never done before. She was going out of her comfort zone. She was uncomfortable. And so she also experiences the 50-50 of life. And so accept the 50-50 of life as being just part of it. Understanding that everyone has ups and downs. You, my friend, are not a special unicorn, that you should not have the ups and downs of life. You, my friend, are a special unicorn because of your experiences in life, but not a special unicorn as you are a human being with the ups and downs of life. You are a human being with the full human experience. Sometimes people disappoint us. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes people love on us. Sometimes they don't. It is part of the human experience. Sometimes a client says yes. Sometimes another client says no. Sometimes a client starts working with us and then they stop. Or sometimes a client starts working with us and then they continue working with us. It's the whole part of the human experience. And when I spend more time with the human experience, I spend more time in like really visualizing the heartbeat. I remember when my mentor showed me that analogy, the heartbeat. If I was on a hospital bed and my heartbeat was showing this way, the nurses and doctors would say she is alive. But if my heartbeat was a flat line, they would say she is dead. And sometimes as humans, we think we shouldn't have that it's like we shouldn't have a heartbeat. We shouldn't have the ups and downs. We shouldn't have the 50-50 of life. And that causes us so much pain and is one of the causes of the emotional burnout, because then we start thinking it should not be happening this way. We feel stress. We argue against reality and we lose 100% of the time. So I help my clients make more money without working any harder or longer. How we deal with things in our life and how it creates emotional burnout is us working harder than we need to be. It's us causing more of this burnout that is optional. And I help my clients really spend time and understand how to manage their brains, manage their minds when life happens, manage their minds when, for example, when somebody says no, how to manage their mind when somebody has an opinion about our marketing, how to manage their mind when somebody says we should be doing something different. And so I help my clients manage their mind. And what happens is my clients, they accept the 50% of life. They acknowledge the 50% of life. They experience the full human experience. And so they're not spending time on things that are costing them time, energy, things that are costing them emotional burnout. And then they're able to spend that time, energy, creating money, success, a full life, the kind of life when they, at the end of their life, they can lie back and go, damn, I killed it in the world. Not because I was experiencing emotional burnout, not because I was physically and mentally exhausted, but because I lived a full human experience. I set goals in my business and I killed the goals in my business. I set goals in my life and I created the goals in my life. And so my clients will come to me with big dreams. They'll come to me where they're working hard, but they're working hard and not creating the results that they want. They're solving for things like the 50% of life with more books, more education, more training, more knowledge. And what I help them do is I help them clean it up. So yes, if they need to get another training, if they need to get take another learning or read another book, it is more focused to helping them create the result that they want. So take, for example, the example I started with when I started. Two people live Albuquerque, New Mexico, going to Los Angeles, California. One person gets in the car, gasses it up, plans ahead of time, and starts driving to California. The other person doesn't know what they're going and how they're going, and they then start thinking that it shouldn't be taking long, so they end up taking the scenic route because they don't have a GPS of where they're going. One person will get to California a lot faster than the other person. The other person might get to California, but by the get to California, not only are they mentally, physically exhausted, not only are they emotionally and physically burnt out, their hesitation to get back into the car and take another trip is high. But the person who got to California with how they were approaching it has more fuel, energy, momentum, and drive to set another goal and maybe even go further, turn around and go all the way to New York. And so I help my clients really clean it up so they are the ones who are going to New York, LA, New York, and Atlanta, you name it, or Amsterdam, wherever they want to go, because of how they're going to where they want to go. So if you're ready to make more money without working any harder or longer, if you're ready to make more money with experiencing emotional burnout and exhaustion, I can help you. Send me actually come next week on Zoom. If you're on Zoom right now, I'm going to coach you on it and bring any questions you have about your business, about your life, so that we can start creating results in your life. If you are ready to hire me as a coach, send me a private message. Let's hire me as a coach. What this will do is this will help you start really taking more of the action that you need to take in your business and creating the results that you want. My clients, after working with me, create more money in shorter periods of time. My clients, after working with me, create more of the success that they want in less time and energy. They're the ones who are taking the actions and getting the results that they want because of the energy and the fuel that they're using. And my clients are the ones, after working with me, not only is their current business impacted, their relationships, the life with their family, and their dreams are impacted in a very different way. And this becomes the foundation for future success that they want. My clients always make their money back in they work by working with me, and their lives will never, their life and their business will never be the same after working with me, because the way that I teach it and the way I work through it with them will impact your life forever. If you're ready to work, make more money without working any harder or longer, I can help you. Send me a private message. Let's schedule a consultation call. And on that consultation call, not only will we identify if you and I are a great fit to work together, we will also solve at least one pattern that you have that's costing you time, money, and success. One pattern that you can see in your business, that you can take it into your life and your business and start getting the results that you want today. Because it's one thing to know what to do. It's a very different thing to actually see it clearly, like a blueprint of building the foundation of your business. Your life, your business will never be the same after even one complimentary consultation call with me. Of course, working with me for 6 months to a year will transform your life forever. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you. I will see you next week, same time, same place. And if you're on Facebook, join me on Zoom. Zoom is where you actually will get coached live and learn how to implement this into your life. So thank you so much for joining me. I really, truly appreciate it. Have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.